What is going on, guys, and welcome to the live stream today. Doing some live trading as we open up the market today. Might come back on later and do another live once the IPO goes out, the Coinbase IPO. But we're pretty much based off of what at least I am watching right now is all sympathy plays for the IPO, so other crypto-related stocks. So we're talking about LGHL as one of those. Yeah, that one is certainly moving. Let's take a peek. So here's Bitcoin. I have this pulled up right here on my, I guess, bigger screen. And then what I'll do is I'll go back to my trading window and pretty much just be watching what I'm watching. So Riot, I have some calls. I'm looking to see if I can sell one into the open, and then because that gapped up, it's up 2.5% or so right now. So that's what I'm planning on doing. Selling at least one of those. I have a little bit of Mara. I took it for like an overnight kind of. This could be a bigger trade, but I actually bought a lot more Mara and then sold it at like 54 at 4 a.m. I just set my order and just went to bed literally, and then that worked out nice. But it's Mara was weird yesterday, so it's kind of weird. Now while Bitcoin's holding up quite well, look at where it's at, right at 64.3. Mara is down towards the low of the day, since 4 a.m., which is kind of weird. So it's got some weird price action going on there. I'm not a huge fan, but we'll see. Other thing about Coinbase that I'm also somewhat, here's LGHL, by the way, pushing on up as we're getting close to the open. What depends on, first of all, will your broker even allow you to buy it? Because sometimes some brokers may have a delay in terms of when you can even buy it. But also, I have a feeling we're going to open up way too high. We're going to open up this thing's going to open up at a ridiculous price. And we're going to see just it doesn't make sense to buy it. So that's why I think that if Coinbase opens up at a crazy high price, it makes a lot more sense and there's a lot more money to be made on the sympathy plays. And so, for example, EQOS is one. Where's another one that we have? LGHL is another one as well, which is pushing up here. It's up 7% right now, which is nice. So I have some of that. EBON is another one as well. That one's up 4%, just under 4%. So it was up a lot more earlier, but we'll see. I'm looking for $6 on EBON as my first target. So we'll see if we can get that. I'm not in super heavy on much on any of my things, any of my positions, really, to be honest. But I'm just making sure that I'm in the game, right? So I have some skin in the game so that we can take advantage of some of this. But if we don't see, a crazy move, then, not making sure that, I don't get screwed in the backside. You can't actually trade coin right now. It's not live. The $250 is like the Nasdaq's kind of like base price, whatever they want to call it. But it will probably get traded up before we can get access to this. This will probably open up way higher. At least that's my anticipation. I was seeing things yesterday of between 5 and 600 or something like that, 615 or something crazy. So we'll see. You can't trade it now. It's not live. Usually it'll go live, I would say midday. So that's why I was saying I'll go live for the open. We'll see how things go. And then we'll probably come back on once this goes live. I'll probably do another live later. I'll do a video later. We'll see what makes the most sense. At least that's that. I think Coinbase under $500, I would probably grab some. Is just my take. I'll grab some under $500. If we get under 5, it would be worth a shot, I think. Outside of that, if I can even trade it. If not on Webull, I might grab it on TD Ameritrade, another platform if I have the option to do so. So we'll see. We will see how this goes. But that said, I'll go back to Bitcoin here. It's kind of setting up. It's flagging for potentially another move. I have the 1 hour chart on Bitcoin pulled up. We zoom out, look at what's been happening as of late. It's so crazy to look at this because honestly, the past couple of weeks, right, we've been noticing that past months, right, a lot of the stocks that we're looking at as crypto sympathy plays, right, the Riots, the Maras, those are kind of still, Mara's hitting highs, or Mara's up towards all-time highs. Riot is nowhere near where it was. So if we go back here, pull up Riot at $60 right now, right? Look at where Riot was. Riot hit $80, a few weeks back, a few months back in February, mid-February. So Riot looks really good in terms of this breakout, so I like it a lot. We'll see if we get the continuation move today and see how this plays out on Riot. But I would say mid-60s is going to be the area for Riot. First kind of, I would say, next key resistance. It's going to have to grind through. If it gets over that level, it could go a lot higher, so we'll see. Let's see. RIGL pre-market. Let's take a peek at that guy. Let's see. popped up yesterday a little bit. Nice volume yesterday. How's this guy looking? The thing that's crazy too about just things about a lot of stocks in general, the volume is just so minimal. So it had a lot of volume. It had a lot more volume, at least pre-market yesterday. Now it's got like minimal volume. It's the story across the board. Look at the top gainer today. GALT, GALT is the top gainer. It's gotten more volume since in the last like half hour or so, but I mean it's only up 30%. That's like a joke for small cap land, you know. So it's kind of crazy to see how like so many of these stocks are just like, so many stocks just no volume. There's just no volume, and maybe it's just because, the tax season. I guess you can think of it that way potentially as a idea of why. Maybe I don't know if how much that really weighs in though. Grab Riot calls. That's what I did as well. So I grabbed 2 calls yesterday. For Riot. So that was at least what I did. Instead of holding shares, I decided to go with the calls as more of a lottery because I locked in gains on the shares. So I decided to go with calls to say, hey, you know what? I have 2 left. I bought 5 and then I sold some and then rebought 1. I sold some and then rebought 2 before the close yesterday on the dip because Riot had a nice dip. So here's what I was looking at. If we go back to yesterday, I had this line drawn in here at like 58 because you go to the 1 hour chart on Riot. Prior resistance was up here at like 58, 57, upper 57s to 58. So I was like, okay, if we get over 58, that's a pretty good play. And I bought calls like right here. I bought them when we were kind of consolidating right here, and it pushed up. So I sold them into this move up, and then it came right back down to the same spot. And as I saw we developed some support here, I bought calls again. And those are the ones I'm holding into today. So I have a sell order set. We'll see if it fills over 5 on the calls that I have. I have 58s for this week. So we'll see. EBON, I think EBON it's pulling back a little bit here to the open. We'll see. I have some. I like it down here. I liked it down here towards 5. It could, did dip below 5 briefly. I think I have an average of 490. So yeah, I took advantage of the dip below 5. But yeah, I want to see this gap right here from 575 up to like 625. I want it to kind of fill that gap. So I would like to see it getting into that range. So market's going to open here in like 30 seconds. Let's see. We'll see if we can I'll see if my Riot call gets filled right away, and then we'll go from there. So essentially how I'm looking at it. FSR, I think I saw FSR. Yeah, I'm still holding my FSR long term. But I will not be afraid to sell that thing, So let's see. Anything going on? Okay, here market's open. Let's see where my 58s are at. What are we trading at here? Let's see if they get filled. Riot's in the 60s, 660s area. 535 by 4. We'll see if that fills. Okay. I wouldn't be surprised for an opening sell. Yeah, here it is. Opening sell-off on a lot of stocks, or a lot like some of these Bitcoin plays. Look at Bitcoin. How's Bitcoin doing? Go back and forth. Something we always want to do. Pulling back a little bit, but it's still holding up pretty well. So back to here. Let's see. What's going on? EBO, and I had calls on this one too. That's not doing much. EQOS, not doing too much. ANTEs, it's got some action in the pre-market, but we'll see if this pushes for the day. Waiting to see how this plays. This is interesting. So those Riot calls that I had from yesterday, I have an average of $3. They're sitting around 4. Interesting. Did it pull back that much? That's very interesting. Yeah, it's pulling back, but yeah, because now it's back towards where it was. That's crazy. It's back towards where it literally was at the close almost. It's almost only up 1%. That's a dip, a pretty significant dip, I would think. What else? FTCV, what are these at? These are back to where I have them roughly at my average. All right, Mara's down. Look at that. This is why Mara is so weird. I only have a little bit of it that I honestly might buy a dip on, but Mara's been so weird. Mara's down to $50, right? When Bitcoin is sitting here, okay, and Bitcoin's pulling back a little too, but Bitcoin's still sitting here, within $1,000 of its all-time highs. So it's so weird how Mara has been behaving just generally back under $50. Wow. Wow. I probably we'll look to buy a dip on that. We'll see. I'll let that one settle and I'll just add in because I bought some last night for an overnight swing and it worked out for like a $3 scalp or $2 scalp, whatever it is. Yeah. EQOS 1170. This is a nice little play so far. It's pushing up a little bit. How's LGHL sitting at 355? Okay. We'll see. EBON 515 pull back at the open. All right. What else do we have going on here? Yeah, the riot calls, man, they're pulling back hard. It's crazy. I woke up this morning. This is why, I usually don't play options very much, right? I'll hold them because I'm in the money on them, so I'm not going to be too concerned. But, right, I had these things from yesterday, and Riot's up from the close yesterday. It's at 59. The thing goes to 63.49, right? That's why I like just playing shares because you can sell this thing at 4 a.m. Set a sell, and if it hits, it hits, right? And so, with options, you don't have the ability to do that, intraday or in the after hours. So we'll see the big pullback on Riot for now, but let's see how Bitcoin is. Yeah, Bitcoin actually bounced off here, 63.5-ish or so. It's pushing back to 64. This wouldn't be a terrible idea to even take for a scalp trade. Let me see, where's my Mara? I may take that now that we're speaking here. I'll grab 35 more. Okay, get to around 50. Get to around 50 shares on that guy and see if we can play with that. Let's see. I'll bring that up just so we get filled under $50. Please fill me. I'm gonna miss the fill on this one, of course. All right, I'll play it okay, there we go. We got filled. Please tell me we got filled. Yeah, we go. All right, so we'll see if we can play with that one for the day. And then outside of that, Riot calls back to 375. I have a sell over 5, so I'm looking for a bigger move on it. We'll see if we get it. Anything else? There's a lot of other stuff that I'm looking at that I'm just letting kind of just slowly come down. It's kind of funny to see, for example, comms and VISL, similar plays. I let them just come down. I mean, I just trim my position super, super small so that I have them. And so I can watch the price action every single day. It's kind of how I do it, which, yeah, sure, I've been taking a loss on them. Slowly, they're bleeding me out, but they're not because I like them longer term. So I like these are plays I like, but they're coming down to a lot more favorable levels now for me to take them. For me to add into them. So I'm slowly getting ready to add into this one. I'm letting comms come down a little more, maybe down towards $2 if I can get closer to 2, and then that's where I'll be buying a lot more of comms. EQOS, I have my first. I'm just going to trim half if it pops a little bit more, but this is one that I like for sure. Oh, man. SOS, take a peek at that guy, how the volume is looking. Back over 5. Well, that thing popped over 5 quick and then just dipped. That's interesting. SOS is interesting. Rumors of the SEC investigation, whatever, yesterday, then rebounding. SOS is a stock that could certainly squeeze eventually. It needs to hold $5. I think it needs to get back over 5, hold 5 to kind of develop some strength, and then we can see how it goes from there. Let's see. So those ride calls are back on up. So I'm looking for this thing. I have a sell over 5, so I'm waiting for that to get up towards 5 again before I sell that. And then I'll leave one, not Rio. Then I'll leave one just to ride. That's kind of how I'll do it. So look at Riot. Nice bounce, nice opening sell off. How's Mara doing? This is still selling off. So that's why it's so weird. The price actions is super weird. 49.52 area is trying to hold up. So we'll see if we can hold up. How's Bitcoin? Let's go back to Bitcoin. It's over 64,000. It's within reach of all-time highs, honestly, within, within any period, really. You could just shoot right up. So I would think that these bounce, let's see, NASDAQ's barely green. SPY, everything's even. The market's even today. SPY, NASDAQ, Dow, they're barely up. But, maybe that helps somewhat. ANTE is sitting towards my average. I averaged down a little bit, or I bought a little bit more yesterday. What else do we got? ELYS is crazy. They had news yesterday that I love the stock as a longer term play though too. they had news yesterday that they had like record revenues, and the stock just like opened up and sold off and like down 10%. Record, you tell me that you have record revenues, and then the stock just sells off 10% intraday. I think it's like, okay, what the heck is that? That's just telling you like the market. But what it's really is, it's allowing us to kind of see, okay, what do we want? What do you want? What do you like? And then if you still like a stock, for example, like ELYS in my eyes, I love that one in the sports betting space. If you still like it, it's giving you the dip opportunities, but most people don't want to buy a stock until it's up, until everybody else is buying it. So you kind of have both sides. Yeah, VISL for me, it's more of a, I have more of a conviction on that one. So I'm not, technicals are great, but I'm a little bit less technical on that one personally. So I'm playing this one. Let's take a look. Where is it sitting? Yeah, I would think it holds up around the 200 SMA at this like 230-ish area, but it could certainly come down more. So I've trimmed myself down to a point where I'm not like worried if it does fall more, and I'll just slowly be buying more. My concern with some of the small cap plays is, the concern that I have is that, okay, well, we could see, maybe we get a surge before the summer, right? Maybe the next couple of weeks, months, maybe they kind of come back. Maybe the tax season is actually a thing, and that's why that's why the volume is dried up, at least for right now. Maybe not, right? And if not, these can keep coming down. And if we get into the summer, these come down some more, then I want to make sure that I'll trim myself, obviously at that point, but I want to make sure that I at least am not heavy in small caps come that point. Then I'll just stack these away in my account, not worry about them, and then come like August, September, I'll start thinking about, okay, are these at nice levels? Do I want to start averaging down? And I'll do so for stocks that still haven't made the run. I mean, I think VISL could go earlier. We'll see. Maybe it takes a couple more months. I think I have more of a longer term conviction on it, so that's why I'm playing it for a little bit longer. But that's at least just me. Okay, so that Mara, let's see, that Mara, look at that bounce, Bitcoin must be pushing back. 64.2, yeah, it's sitting up there. So Mara's above VWAP. We'll see if it can hold up and stay there. We'll see. We may even stay on until the IPO if this comes out earlier, right? So we'll see if the IPO hits earlier. But so if you type in coin on your platform, you probably, at least on Webull, you're going to get this. So here's what you're going to get. It's not live, and it may take a while before it goes live. So sometimes I saw what happened when the Snow IPO went live. It was like it was a mess. It was honestly a mess. It was a pain. Just waiting around. I didn't trade it, but like I know people who were looking to trade it, and it was like, come on. So these riot calls hit 515, 510. Look at that. So I'm gonna get taken out here very soon, because let's go into my options. I have a sell here at like 535, I believe. I'm a 58s for this week, so that's gonna be nice. That would have been a nasty or a great dip this morning, man. Now that we look at it, that's what I was looking for yesterday. I was looking for an opening dip on a lot of crypto names. And did we get it? We didn't really get it right away. We kind of got it later, a little bit later in the morning, around 10 a.m. But today it looks like it's working well. So Riot, it's pulling back a little bit. We'll see if we can get filled hopefully relatively soon on those options. It's still sitting over 5, at least the price it's giving me down here at the bottom. I think coin's going to dip and rip. We'll see. I think there's just so much hype around it, I feel like. So the problem is going to be that when there's too many people or too much kind of conviction one way, or too many people on one side of the trade, that's where it's like, let's look the other way. So that's my I want to say concern. I guess you could call it a concern. I don't know. I would just be somewhat cautious on that. That's why I'd rather not buy the Coinbase IPO, let it settle. If I can get it under 500, first of all, if it's available on a platform that I have right away, because sometimes you might run into that issue where it's not actually available on your platform. But if I can get it under 500, I would probably take something. I'll take at least some. All right, back to Bitcoin here. Bitcoin pulling down a little bit. That's another thing too. Coinbase will be available between 10:10 and 10:20 Eastern. So that's actually fairly soon. So we'll stay on and see if it goes live at that point. How long is the play on VISL? It's until it hits where I want it to hit. So I'm looking for, like, I really want to see closer to $10 on it, but it may take longer. I have a longer or a larger conviction on it, right? So I don't really have necessarily a super specific time frame. Let's see. I think it's a stock that will, that the sector that they're in, I think what they're doing is going to be around for that's I think it's the future too. So I don't see a reason to move on from that one and forget about it. That's why I'm going to keep a small position on, and then when I feel like it's ready, then I'll load it or I'll add into that position. This FTCV is the merger with eToro, the SPAC, taking eToro public. I like this one. Pulled back a little bit. We'll see. This is going to be a very interesting. This one I'm going to be watching is going to be very, very interesting into the open of the IPO. So when Coinbase goes live, what happens on this guy? So I'm honestly more focused on like that than I would be on like actually like watching the Coinbase IPO. You know, like we'll watch it, but then it's like, okay, well, what's running in sympathy or what's running alongside of it is how I will see it. All right, back to 64,000 for Bitcoin. Mara's taking down a little bit. Yeah, I think we're going to see them. We'll see. It's an interesting. We're kind of seeing a little bit of an interesting action on these things. They may offer some better dip buys. If we take a look at Mara overall, longer term, right, zooming out on the daily, it's been putting in higher lows, but today it's now kind of dropping below yesterday's low, which isn't great to see. I think it's still kind of crazy though how I understand that I think that Mara and Riot to a degree are overvalued, right? But at the same time, I understand that. But at the same time, they have been moving with Bitcoin for so long, and all of a sudden for them to kind of stop correlating is or at least for Mara to kind of be doing what it's doing is weird. One of them usually likes to lead the other one. That's what I've been noticing lately. One leads, the other one kind of hangs back, and then eventually pushes up. Oh, I don't care. FTCV, I don't care if it's not good. The thing is, I'm watching to see if it moves. It's a day. It's like a today, and that's it. You know, if Coinbase goes crazy, do people follow along to that? Maybe that's really all it's about. I have no idea. I haven't looked enough into it, but it's the eToro SPAC, so it's like, okay, if it pushes with Coinbase, I'll take it. That's what I'm here for. What else is going on? EBON, everything's kind of just quiet. Too quiet, I feel like. I'll change this to the 1 day. Let's take a look at what's up today. We'll let that settle for a second. Anything else going on? Riot has pulled back quite a bit on me there. Yeah, that thing is dipping. That's red on the day. That's crazy. This is red on the day. Maybe it's just going to be maybe it's going to be a quick, honestly, those are not bad options to buy more of, to be honest. If I was thinking about playing Riot for a bounce, those wouldn't be a terrible idea to buy more of those options. They're still above my average. So we'll let them come down if they do come down closer to the average, and we'll see how that goes. Let's see. Under 58 now. Wow. Dang. That's crazy. And it's not even like we're seeing Bitcoin plummeting. Bitcoin's still holding up quite well. LGHL, I'm looking for closer to $4 now. I have some sells setting up towards $4. This 50 SMA up here at the 379 area could be a resistance, and then I would say after 4 it could get interesting. But let's give it some time. What else is going on? I bought some LMFA. I have some at the 200 SMA sitting here down towards like 110. Don't really want to see it going much below that. So that's at least where I got that guy going. It should find some support, or we'll see. 110 should be a solid support. So I bought some here just under 120, and then I'm looking. I'll buy more for sure. I have a very small position at least on that guy. So we'll see how that plays out. But let's see. EQOS, not really doing too much. 1 minute chart pushing up, but it's up 5%, which isn't bad. ANTE, look at this, guys, slowly got some volume actually. Look at this. ANTE, what are these? 11,000. It's not that much. 18,000 shares. It's not terrible. I mean, for the first half hour of open, it's not terrible. I'm seeing that TKAT, some NFT stocks are pushing up today. Let's see. This is up 20%. This is a crazy one. This one was nuts back when it ran to 75. Now it's come down and it's starting to push up. I don't necessarily understand the correlation too much between the NFT idea and I guess maybe the coin. I guess it's just crypto, I guess, in general, but it's a weird correlation to me, at least. I would be thinking that more crypto direct stocks would be more of the idea. Riot, you know what? Now that I'm looking at it, I'm probably going to buy another one of these while I have the option to do so. I'm going to buy another one of these calls that I have, and I may just sell this thing. Let's see if I can fill the night. At 290, it's probably I'm probably going to miss it. Let's see if it'll fill me though. I'll wait on that one. Because Riot has some decent support here, I think, at least at, where is it? The 58-ish area. Mid 57s is a decent support, I think, on Riot. It was an area back on, look at the 1 hour chart. It was an area of support or resistance back here, back on the 5th. And then it broke through yesterday. It's right back there today. If it develops some support there, I would love that for a bounce to the upside. That would be a nice bounce. Grab some more options on this dip. BTBT, yes. BTBT was pushing up. Yeah, look at that. I missed it. Dang. I missed that snag. Was trying to grab that. Now I'm going to cancel that order really quick. Just cancel that for now. But I think we'll see. I'm looking for, honestly, I think we can see a bigger move on it. That would have been nice. We saw that the Riot option right there. That was under, looking at it, under 2. It was under 3. Now it's at 320 by 345 seconds later. That's another thing about options too. If you don't have the stomach for it, it's definitely not for you, because you could be up, 50% in second, depending upon what you're buying, right? I'm buying, riskier options that expire this week because I'm playing it. I'm literally just playing it for this event, right? For this IPO. And that's it. Dang, Mara's doing me dirty here today. That I thought was a dip buy and ended up not being. We'll see. LGHL's pulled back quite a bit. Certainly pulled back. I think what's going to be fun to see, though, is really going to just be the reaction at the IPO, right? If these things go crazy or if they don't. What else do we have right now? So we got LGHL right here. We have. I want to take a look at FTCV again. It's sitting. VWAP has got resistance on it at 1350 or so. It was an interesting one yesterday. I wish I bought it earlier, but I bought options on it. I wish I had bought them earlier, but they were down here. I mean, this thing was down under $13, and it pushed up beautifully. It would have been a nice, intraday trade as it is. We'll see. I have a SPY put too that I started buying, which I'm going to average into that. Meanwhile, SPY goes. Look at SPY, it goes straight up. It's crazy. It's at the line though, so we'll see how this plays out. But it's at the line, so we'll be watching that. You thought you bought Mara at the dip yesterday too, yeah. It's weird stock. But then again, right? Okay, so Mara hit a recent high. Riot didn't. So Riot had more range based on the chart than Mara did. So I kind of get it, but also I don't necessarily get it to a degree where it's just not core. It's down 6%, right? Bitcoin isn't down much, right? I would think if Bitcoin's down or if like tech is down or the market's down a lot, then I could see it, but no. So we'll see if it holds up in the 40s and in the upper 40s. We'll see. A lot of green though, across a lot of the my small cap plays too today. Look at this, a lot of decent green. I mean, I'm not in very large on them, as of now, but a decent amount of green across the board, it seems like. Is that because the Russell's up? What is that? Let's pull up IWM, the Russell ETF. Yeah, oh wow. Small cap ETF's up a lot. That's kind of interesting, kind of crazy. This isn't at its highs yet, but it's getting close. It's within reach, about $10. So we'll see if this guy holds up. Tamara she likes to bounce up and down before making a run. I hope we will be here for the run, hopefully. It's a weird one, but we'll be staying along. Is Riot coming back? Let's pull up Riot again. We'll see it. The key, I think, is Riot holds up support here in the 58 area, then that would be solid. Upper mid 57s. Don't want to see it going below like $57. That would be, sure, you could just be seeing a kind of a fake out, right? But if it holds up roughly in this area, the kind of area we saw yesterday in the afternoon support here, down towards like the mid 57s, which we're sitting at like right as I'm saying that, it's just plummeting through 57. Look, it's gonna go down under 57. Wow, literally as I said it. Want to see that area hold up as support, but it doesn't seem like it wants to now. Bitcoin is coming out a little bit, so I guess. Weird day so far. What else is going on here? EQOS has pulled back for sure. Yeah, it's pulling back quite a bit. Yep. So look, as we're watching some of this stuff, what we could be looking at is a potential big sell the news. Well, we could be seeing like a massive just sell off into the IPO and then a rip back up. We'll see. Or we just sell off completely and it just goes straight down. Yeah. Mara doing me dirty here. I shouldn't have bought that dip. Let's see. Let us see. In terms of top gainers on the day, TV, what even is that? TV is one of the top gainers at 25%. BTBT is doing well. Although it popped harder yesterday in the afternoon, pre-market today, it popped to $20 from 15 yesterday. That's pretty crazy. And now it's sitting just under 19. So that one's doing well. So you kind of have a weird, but also BTBT is like lagging massively behind Riot and Mara. Right? Because I remember I played this one back a couple of weeks ago. I played it off this trend line here. I remember it dipped hard and it ripped right after that. So weird. Now it's over the 50 SMA, which has been resistance in the past. So that's a good sign. This thing probably goes to $20 or higher, potentially more. So we'll see. Yeah, I think we're seeing between that, $500 to $600 wouldn't be surprising. We'll see. It's supposed to open up, the next like half hour, I think. Supposed to be, but we'll see if it actually happens. I think a lot of people are going to be. I think under 500, at least for me, is the range I would be interested in buying it. That's my spot, I guess. Mara down 8% today. Hit under $47. Crazy. Well, let's see if it holds up in this 45 area would be the area to watch as support. Held up at that level a couple days back. Prior resistance up around 45, 46. So I don't think it goes down much more. But then again, we just said that about Riot, right? And we watched it plummet right below us, right in front of us. Yeah, look at that. Dang. The Dow's up 0.5% today. That's interesting. The Dow's up pretty nice. So there's that, for whatever that's worth. The biggest gainer, at least in terms of my positions, is EQOS up 5%, and my calls, my options are doing. We'll see. Obviously, we'll see how the week finishes up. But yeah, buy the rumor, sell the news. Yesterday was the day to be. Yesterday was the push, and now today you're gonna get. It seems like so far that's what we're getting. We're getting a sell the news. so far on some of the sympathy plays. Some. You would think the Riot and Mars would be doing better today. Bitcoin, yeah, it's back down to 63.7, so I can see the weakness that we're seeing on some of those plays. I thought, we'll see how this plays out. I thought that we would see a bigger breakout, and maybe this is coming. I thought with Bitcoin we would see a bit of a bigger push. I thought we'd push 65, 70-ish fairly quick, and maybe that happens by the end of the week. We'll see. But once we broke those highs of like 62, so we're sitting, like 25 or less than $2,000 off the highs, or the prior resistance highs. LGHL got a case of the drops. What do we got? Yeah, it's down. Yeah, that thing pulled back pretty hard. This is also the other thing too, is that we're not seeing much. We're not seeing enough. I wouldn't say enough. We're not seeing much kind of continuation with a lot of these stocks. And I think it's because the overall market has been just super, like small caps and a lot of stocks have not been holding up moves well at all. So with that, right, it's been kind of bad in general. It's been bad for, a lot of these things. A lot of small cap plays and a lot of our like sympathy plays haven't been doing well. But what I think you're seeing is if crypto stays hot for a lot of these sympathy plays or a lot of these other crypto plays, if crypto stays hot and we start to see small caps heat up and they build a bigger base, I guess, and they start holding gains, holding a move, then you're probably looking at at that point, right? Then you're looking at these could make some big moves, a little bit delayed, slow. They'll be a little bit delayed, but that's kind of my thought, potentially. We'll see. EBON's red on the day. Wow. But this is one of those too, right? They had the short report, and they could be complete BSing on their response to the short report the other day. But it's in a good spot. This is where I like to buy these stocks, right? It's at support. This is where I would like to be buying these things. So I don't know. If we were breaking these, we'd see Bitcoin 70K. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how this stuff plays out. Also, the market being fairly green today, that I was thinking like that was one of the things I was thinking about too. Like that could be the damper on things, right? If let's say the market decides to plummet, oh man, like if the market plummets, then I could see like stuff's not holding gains or stuff's falling off. I could see that, but the market's green, which is really weird. Market being so green, and a lot of these things. Bitcoin. Let's take a look at how it's doing. Let's go back to the 1 hour chart. 63.7 still. Yeah. It's been super. Honestly, it's been a time where it's probably it's better off to just not trade anything, for the most part. For like a lot of stuff, it's like it's been better off. You've been better off just not doing anything. There's certainly look at this massive dip. If we go to the 5 minute on let's say Riot for like that's. Yesterday's dip was pretty. I thought pretty nasty from 56, like almost 57, down to 53. But today, from the 62-ish area, or for over 63 here in the pre-market, down to 56. That's a wild swing. You're talking about 12% swing from where it was this morning pre-market. What it shows you, though, also how people can, someone can make a ton of money on the same stock, where someone else loses a ton of money on it. You're looking at like Riot for a perfect example. If you had sell orders and you sold pre-market today, you probably locked in nice gains. Now you could be buying this dip and you can feel a lot better about buying that dip. House money almost, Viacom, that's another one too that I would like to play for. This thing got down 200 SMA bounce. This is looking nice too. That was a nice play. I think it's going to be a nice play, to the upside. I think this thing gets back to like 60 plus at some point relatively soon. But we'll see how it plays out. See if we get any updates on this guy. Nothing here, at least as of right now. Just waiting on him. Ebon is just getting creamed. Huh. Wow. EQOS. EQS hitting new highs. Look at that. Just hit 1193. The riot calls that I have an average of $3 on these things. They're now at 1. They're under 2. Jeez. At this point, it's probably not terrible idea just to snag one at this point. I'll snag it at 195 if I can get buy one. So what is it? $200? Whatever. It's lottery. Just play the lottery. That's how I see the options, and at least I trade them. When I trade them, it's a lottery option play. Do I have them? Do I have 3 of them? Yes, I have 3 of them. Okay, cool. Cool. Let's see. EQOS has got some volume. It's just one of those mornings. Yeah, I hear you. Arrival? I don't know. I feel like I definitely was watching this one a while ago. We go back. Yeah, this was. I don't know. We're just seeing these things like getting crushed. So I don't know. I would let this thing bottom out. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity. But I think the problem people are going to have is that they're going to end up throwing away too much capital, so they're not going to be able to take advantage of the opportunity when it hits, right? So that's, for example, right, a lot of the SPACs that have fallen off. For example, too, Hyliion. Now, I know people have kind of conflicting views on Hyliion, but this thing's under $10. I mean, if you wanted to buy Hyliion now, you're buying Hyliion now. I mean, there's so much upside if things do work out in the long term. And if you believe in that, I mean, you got a lot of upside. So people got this thing with a $60 or with like a $50+ average. I'm sure people are still sitting on it. Huh. All right, so I bought that dip on those riot calls, and they're actually up, 20, 40 cents from that, which is nice. Maybe it saves my behind and that recovers nicely. We'll see. Ebon is getting assassinated. Where is it at now? Down. It's not terrible. My average is 490 on it, but yeah. From this thing hitting 550, this morning, just getting crushed. So what we could be seeing though right now is another kind of form of manipulation to a degree, right? If you think about it, right? Let's say it's just a speculation, right? Let's say we get this IPO coming out in the next half hour, wherever it comes out. It may get delayed. Who knows? Okay, so this thing comes out and it's nuts, right? It goes crazy and everything rips. All these sympathy plays rip with it. Then we just essentially, people panic sold this morning into giving other people, right, cheaper shares or whatever, and then it rips. So that's kind of a theory, right? What if that's the case? And I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. Meanwhile, Bitcoin is just actually kind of falling off. And the concern that I have, too, is that the Coinbase IPO, right? Now, I don't think a difference in $1,000 in Bitcoin really means much. But to a degree, they are very heavily going to correlate to Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin pushes on up, I would think Coinbase continues. Now, you're going to have a lot of volatility right now, I would think. But I would think that Bitcoin pushing up or falling off is going to be heavily impacting Coinbase's price, longer term. So we'll see. We're going to hold through this stuff, though, and we're going to see how, I'm not risking a ridiculous amount here. So either what's going to happen is this week will either we'll either make the week today / tomorrow, depending on how these stocks go, or things will not go very well, and then I'll end up getting crushed. Not crushed, but I'll end up having a pretty nasty red week. So it's the risk you take, right? We'll want to take the risk. So we will see. Taking a look at some of the gainers. Let's see. Anything that's interesting. Disc B. Discovery. This thing is interesting. It's crazy. Did it get halted up? Yeah, it got halted, I think. Maybe. TV is the next best gainer, which is holding roughly at the VWAP, which is decent, around this 12 to 13. Dip below just slightly before. Let's see if it holds up in this 1280. So we'll see if that holds up. Outside of that, a lot of my other swings are kind of green, but I'm also not really heavily in them. So I trimmed them all thinking that we'd see more downside, and then I'd buy the dips. And of course, what end up happening will be I'm going to end up buying them back. Okay, Riot seems like it's bouncing a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. It's got to reclaim the 58 now, which is going to be another area to watch. That was an area that was support resistance in the past. Now it's going to be, area to the VWAP is also. So Riot back over 58 gets interesting, but if it doesn't get back over 58, it's probably going to be bleh. Might just take the sell off. Mara down 8, almost 9%. Yep. Let's see. Bought high on last week at the pipe price. Yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity like that. The problem is that people are just not going to be. They're either going to be too down on themselves because of how it's been lately, and they're going to be like, "No, screw it. I don't want to do anything," and they're going to miss out, or they're going to lose all their money and they're not going to be able to buy anything. So, a couple different ways it can go. Let's see. Just going through checking on other positions. Let's go back to Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin holds, it's dipping decently now. Imagine this, imagine a massive sell the news thing, and this Coinbase IPO comes out and it just plummets the whole day, and then the thing just, Bitcoin plummets, Coinbase plummets, everything plummets today. That would be insane. I would not be surprised though. It would be very funny. Because we talked about in yesterday's video too. I was like, just watch the other side. Now I think that I would think the downside would be personally, I would be looking at the downside a little bit like next week type of thing. Okay, this week, whatever happens, the hype runs it up. Okay, cool. Whatever happens. And then I would be looking more so at downside a little bit after, right? Just let this thing kind of come to a point, and then we'll see what happens after that. But who knows? EQOS, $12 resistance. I have a sell really kind of not that far off. 12.25 is where I'm looking at first sell. It'll be a nice dollar plus move. I'm fine with taking half off there and then letting the rest ride. At least my plan on that one. So now it's funny, all right? So we're watching how everything's behaving. Okay, you're watching Riot. The thing just plummets off plummets off, right? Thing goes down to 54.69 as the low of the day. Now it's at 57 again. You go back to Bitcoin. Bitcoin's towards the low of the day. What makes sense anymore? I don't know. Same with Mara. Mara's bouncing a little bit too, right? Now this seems like a much better base built dip opportunity for at least some of those. And when you're buying the dip earlier was kind of a risky play because it's right after the open. But now look at Mara pushing up. So we'll see if this becomes a massive shakeout from this morning and then it rips into the afternoon. A lot of these things, I would all we could do is sit back and laugh, at something like that. EQOS over 12. Let's hit my sell, please. 12.25, and then I'll have half off, and I'll pretty much be playing with house money. No, not really, but I'll be playing with less risk and be good to go. LGHL bouncing a little bit here, so coming down to 330, and then it's bouncing off that. Nice little 15-cent push. Coinbase now indicated to open at 340. So at NASDAQ, so we look at Coinbase, right? What's going to happen? What you're going to get now is you're going to get news coming out from these different news outlets who report and who have this. So you get the NASDAQ comes in and says, hey, here's our reference price of 250 for Coinbase. But what's going to happen is that now we're watching this and you're going to start seeing, before it goes live, you're going to start seeing price bumping up. At least that's what we saw with Snow, the IPO a couple weeks ago, months ago, whatever it was. Let's see how this plays out. Markets are nice and green, which is just like interesting. VIC. Look at that. Nice pop. Don't want to buy coin for at least a week. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on that. Like if it opens up under 500, I would maybe take a shot if I could, get it. Kind of a speculative play for the week. Day trade it, sell it, sell it if it goes to 600 or something like that. Sell it, into the momentum, make a few dollars. But actually, like a long-term play, I wouldn't be looking at buying that thing like anytime soon. I'd be looking to buy that thing when Bitcoin pulls back, on a Bitcoin pullback. That's what I'd be looking at. So, I think it's funny though how we just see Riot grinding. We see Mara grinding back up as well. Just funny. EQOS, LGHL pushing back up. LGHL VWAP here at this 346. We'll see if that holds up. Let's see. EBON is back to 5-ish. $5. Got to reclaim 5 on that guy. Let's pull up FTCV. This is the merger with eToro. And then we'll see how this one plays out. This has been pushing up a little bit from the lows today. It did go green briefly, and now it's barely red. This is going to be one of those sympathy plays potentially to the IPO as well. Let's go back to Mara. I'm watching Mara sitting here. Coinbase lists at 10:10 Eastern. It's not live though. It's weird. Let's see. Trying to see when this thing actually, I'm sure. Let's go pull up coin. It's not live, yeah. That's not. It's going to be crazy to see how this thing goes though once it does go live. I can't wait to see this. And then to see how the reaction across the other stocks. ELYS, not much. LGHL, just chilling. Just chilling. EQOS is holding up pretty well. VWAP down to 1180. Decent. Looks like it could be. This is a decent volume, at least as of late. 70,000 shares traded a couple minutes ago. Not terrible for a $12 stock. Not too shabby. Oh, look at that. Look at Bitcoin. Wow. Oh, my. Look at that. Wow. Bitcoin pulling back. Let's see. Down now, it's got some support here at like 62.5. So I would anticipate it holds up in this area, but that's a pretty significant pullback that we just saw. So we'll see how this is probably going to pull back a lot of stuff. I would think you're going to see Mara Riot pulling back pretty hard. Now it's weird because they aren't at the lows of the day, which you would think that they would be. You would think that these would be at the lows of the day. I wouldn't be surprised if these come down. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. I do not have a Discord. I'm in one that I have. There should be links in the descriptions. The prosperity trading one. I've been in that one for a long time. That's one that I think it's a paid one though, but I get a ton of value out of it. I love it. So that's one that I'm in. I'm in a couple other ones that are like free that I just pay attention just in case stuff's going on. I'm watching it for like either news or for, if a stock is running or it's getting pumped, if I anticipate or if I'm noticing, hey, this stock seems like it's getting pumped or something like that, I'll be in, I have my eyes on a couple of them, but other than that, not really, not a huge fan of them. So let's see, Riot 2-ish. The dip buy that I had on that was decent. on that option, but it doesn't seem great as of now. EQOS bouncing off VWAP a couple times here lately, which is pretty solid. Am I drinking cocktails? Just have water. Just have water today. Just some ice cold water. It's been getting like, well, it's actually gross out today here, but it's been getting like more. It's been getting pretty hot. We hit like in the 90s the past couple of days in Austin, Texas, where I'm at. EQOS back at 12. This could be the bright spot of my day here. At least my biggest winner so far. So we'll see how this goes. And as we go back to Bitcoin, okay, look at that. So it pulled back hard. Now it's back over 63. Pretty nasty kind of wick down. So we'll see if that. Let's go to the 5-minute chart. It's a crazy wick down, but it's got some support. I would think it's got some support in this range. I don't think it goes below that 62.5, but maybe if it does, that would be interesting. So back over 63. Let's see. Go back to our Mara and riots. Bouncing a little bit. Do we get the W-shaped recovery? We'll see. We'll see if we get a W-shaped recovery. We will see. I first off, I rarely drink anyway, so and definitely not going to be a 10 a.m. drinker for sure. I rarely do. I really just never really got into it. Never really cared for it too much. And the stuff that I don't know, not a huge drinker at all. All right, let's see if this thing can pop through. Someone slap EQOS. Just come in with a massive market buy here at 12. There it is. 1203 just hit. Let's break through 12, and let's run that up. Green. I actually started the week off massively red Monday, and then not massively red, but for correlation to the positions I had out, like I was like, okay, like worst case scenario, like if everything goes to crap, like I can't lose that much. And I was like, and it happened. I mean, Monday I was like, man, like all my swings are getting crushed, which is fine. I just trimmed them down, and I'm looking to buy them back, as they've been kind of dipping, and they stayed dipping yesterday, but I made a decent amount back on some Riot and on some crypto plays, which today seem to have just, given back all their gains. So we'll see if it comes back. EQOS sitting here just over 12. This could be a nice one now. Topo Chico. Yeah, Topo Chico's good. I never had one until I moved here to Texas, but they're good. Let's see if this thing can pop. EQOS. Could this be the play of the day? Could this be the day runner? New highs. There it is. New highs. Let's see how it goes. And this is range. This thing, I would think this thing gets up to the 50 SMA. I would say targets, honestly, realistically, I'm locking in gains because I'm up over $1 on mine. So I'm looking to lock in gains soon on half. But I think up over, this thing has a shot to like 1350, really realistically. And then, of course, if things go nuts, it could go more. Now, yesterday, we're noticing, watch, like, look at yesterday, the volume was coming in. So it did like almost double the volume yesterday and then the day prior. And then today, we're already at more volume than yesterday on EQOS. And it's, 10:30, not even 10:30 a.m. Eastern, So we'll see how that holds up. Monday was pretty red. Yeah, but I think there's gonna be a pretty nice recovery at some point. And I'm thinking maybe the tax thing is a bigger deal than I thought. Like the April, well, they postponed the federal deadline, right? But I think a lot of state tax deadlines are still around the April deadline, the April 15th, or whatever it is. So, or 14th, when is it? 15th or 14th? Yeah, so we'll see if that actually plays a role. Did EQOS really hit 1224? No, it didn't, right? I'm looking through the time and sales. I don't think 17s. No, it did. It hit it for 100 shares. That's, of course, where my sell's at. Do I have to drop it down a cent? 23. Yeah, this should probably hit, I would think. Any minute now. That should hit. At least minimize the risk there. Back to Bitcoin. Back over 63. Holding up. Holding up. We're getting, let's see. PLTR was funny yesterday. EQOS. Yeah, I should get. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so I got taken half off. That was a nice little trade. Now we'll let this one ride. So let this one ride. Now, honestly, looking back, would have been great if I went in bigger, but I didn't. I've been playing stuff fairly light, so the issue is going to be my options. I've been playing kind of as lotteries, but the problem is that the playing them as lotteries is that, when you go a couple $100 in, if you end up playing the wrong way, you end up losing that couple $100 because with some of the lottery plays that I am at least going for. BCTX, this thing I actually think is going to be a decent. Oh, sorry, BCTX. I was in this one last 2 weeks ago, last week, when the thing went to over 5, and I took my profit, so I made money on it. But it's coming back down to good levels. I think down here, you're getting a better spot. You're getting a much better spot for it right now. So I kind of like it, and I think that the data that they released was good stuff. So I would be, for sure, would be looking to potentially buy some more of this for even a longer term position. Yeah. But I mean, everything's getting hit. So I mean, the problem with BCTX is that it had good news, right? Or they had a good, data or presentation, whatever it was. They had that, and so you got that elevation in pre-market. But the problem was that Monday, you had such a pretty. You took small caps took a hit again, and this thing just didn't hold gains and got crushed, the whole day. So that was the issue that you had on that one. BCTX. So EQOS is the bright spot here. Hitting 1230 is the high of the day. Going back to, it's an interesting one too because it's funny, and I think a lot of the stuff I have been noticed. I have also gotten screwed with. Look at that, 1250 now. That's nice. I have gotten screwed with some of my option plays and with my Riot and Mara plays because sometimes I cut them a little too early. Look at this thing is blowing up. Wow, look at that. Straight up. So for next target, at least I would be looking at here is this 1350. So maybe I'm looking to see, and this has got some momentum though. So I think this is probably, yeah. Let this one ride for today. Let this guy ride. Options or lotteries. Yeah, the thing is, I've screwed myself, and I say screw myself, but where I just cut myself too early, right, on some of these things. Look at that, Mara hitting new lows. Oh man, Mara hitting new lows. Bitcoin under 63 now. Can Coinbase save the day, or was going to be? Are we going to get to sell the news? FTCV is actually a little bit. No, they're not. I was looking at the options on these guys. They're actually 45 by 35, so they're not much. But there's decent interest on these options, at least for now. So I'm watching that one for a possible spike with the IPO. How is Mara still going down? Well, Bitcoin's going down, and so Mara just wants to join the party, right? Yeah, but it was just weird. And then this is interesting too. A reason why it was probably not the best idea to dip buy that one earlier when I thought it was a dip buy and when it really wasn't a dip buy. Probably would have been because I was noticing yesterday's price action just didn't look great. It just wasn't following Riot. It was not great. You had these sell-offs, nasty sell-offs. Although we've been putting in higher lows, but today is just unload the freaking boat here and let it just end. Let it all just die. So I would think it holds up in this area, but we'll see. I would like to see Mara holding up in the 45 area. If it doesn't, then it is what it is. But yeah, that's a pretty nasty one. Pretty nasty one. Riot too. Riot's coming down hard too. Let's see. Yeah, Riot new lows. It bounced quite a bit, but new lows again. Wow. I wonder how long we're gonna have to wait till this IPO goes live here. Because I was seeing stuff like it should be going live around this point, but it's obviously not. So let's see if I can find something on like Twitter or something. Let's see. Let's see. Sell the news. Sell the news event. Yeah, I'm not seeing much, but I'm seeing stuff saying opening 354, then I'm seeing 600, I'm seeing 500, so I'm seeing like all this stuff. It's not live yet. So this is what kind of stinks about it, is that how, like, you know, they say that it's supposed to go live at a certain time and then it just doesn't go live. 11:30 Eastern is usually when they go live. Okay. We'll see how this guy EQOS is holding up. Yeah, let's see. NASDAQ, oh, look at that. NASDAQ has come down. Now NASDAQ's red on the day. Just like that. SPY is coming down a little bit. I'm getting like delayed notifications here on my phone from Webull, from orders that went through like a while ago. Look at EBON, EBON, look at that. Down to 485. 485, wow. Sometimes, you know, if things, and look, this is where I want to see Mara bouncing, but how much cash do I have? Oh, how much cash? I have still like $27,000 cash. So I want to make sure that I have a decent amount of that and I don't lose that money. Because I want to buy dips on stuff. Eventually we're going to get a nice recovery. But in the meantime, it's like, wow. I think it wouldn't have been a terrible idea too. If the thought process of look the other way makes some sense, right? So on the Riot and the Maras after yesterday's moves, right? Maybe it wouldn't have been a terrible idea to think with the mindset of look the other way and play the opposite, play the reversal, play the short on them. Now that we look back on it, now we'll see how they go into the Coinbase listing. But yeah. But yeah, I was saying earlier, Palantir had a great day yesterday. Palantir was up like 9 or 10% or something like that. Crazy day. It's still in my range, roughly, that I think is a decent buy. It came, but look where it came up to today. 50 SMA here at the 26, like 26, 25 area, and got rejected off that. So Palantir's good though. I think I have an average around 24-ish, maybe something like that. I think it's solid. I mean, it's going to be a good long-term play. I also like PLM as a mining play, building a nice support here. AREC also building support here. Now it could fall below, yeah, but I like that. Yeah, I'm getting delayed notifications here on Webull. AREC is another mining play, and then WWR, graphite play. Those are three that I like. Now, I only have small positions on them because I'm looking to wait for things to kind of cool, and then boom. Then that, you know what I mean? Then that's where I'll be buying more. Let's see. This could be a decent dip. I might take some more of this guy. Let's see if I can grab a little bit more Mara down here. We'll play around with something. Just shares as we maybe got the dip and then the rip, and we'll see how it goes. All right, Bitcoin's still over 63. We'd like to see that recovering a little bit more, but we'll see. Let's go into the 5-minute chart. How does that look? Yeah, it looks like it's trying to, bounce back. Max percent of my portfolio I go into one stock is 10%. Options a lot less, but with us for just shares is 10%. So and some people think that that's super stupid risk management because I don't go in big enough, but that's the stuff. That's what works for me. That's what works best for me. Look at that little Mara trade. I bought some, down at like 46.40 something. Bought 10 more of just again, my average is ridiculously high from this dip buy, but we'll see if we can get back some of it. LGHL holding support 335. Yeah, double bottom here so far today. 335-ish. Could be a good reversal spot. Yeah, I have an average from lower, so I'm not looking to really add more into this one, but that's not a bad spot. Little bounce. The thing is too, you could probably, another thing that I've been noticing, and I may just stick on while small caps stay like this, I literally may just trade Mara and Riot because I've been watching them so long, and I've been just watching. The price action has been weird, but literally pull up Bitcoin, right, which is now bouncing a lot. Pull up Bitcoin, pull up Mara, pull up Riot, and just trade them based off the Bitcoin price action, based off the NASDAQ, and based off of how the market's doing. It's worked, as I've done in the past. It's worked for scalps. Nothing like I wouldn't be going in for like large trades. The idea behind my trades on them now is a little bit of a bigger thesis on them, but play them for the scalps. Seemingly is I've done well with it in the past. I think we had a live stream a couple weeks ago or something where we scalped. I think I scalped Riot or Mara like 2 or 3 times, for $1 move, all live. It was fun. I mean, I wasn't going in large, but it was fun. And I was just doing shares. That's the other thing too. The dips, they go right past where you can bear it, and then they rip it right back up. But I've been noticing with a lot of stocks, I think you can see it with BLNK. Where's BLNK from a couple of days ago? I want to look at the past 5 days and see. Yeah, I mean, it's been a couple of times now where I've noticed at least what they do is it drops below support and then it has a knife down and then it recovers hard. So at least one example is here. BLNK comes down from 40.50, drops to 39.70, hard knife, and then recovers right back up to 41 by the end of the day. It's been they just take it down just enough to hit your stops, and then it comes right back up. Took 30% of Mara content. That's nice. Yeah, the scalps. Let's see how it's doing here. They've been doing. That's why I've been finding that that's probably a decent way to go about it. So. That's, I guess, my downfall, I guess, at least as of late, is trying to swing stuff when I probably shouldn't be. There's no need to swing stuff, I feel like all the time, or at least it's fine overnight stuff. For example, I took Mara for an overnight last night. I bought it here in the after hours when it started to pop on up. I bought it 51 something, and I set my sells for 53, 50 or 53 to 90 or something like that, and that hit at 4 a.m. That was a nice, that's a swing technically, right? Because it's overnight. That is the type of swing I would be willing to take on a stock like that. But outside of that type of stuff, the swings right now are just not working. It's not a swinger's market. So let's see. We will see how this plays out. How's Bitcoin doing here as we watch it? 63.3, so it's recovered quite a bit. I want to see how bad I'm. Yeah, man. I mean, it was doing much better yesterday if I just stopped trading. I think I got back to I recovered all the losses from the day before. And then today we've just brought them all back so far. Got very close to taking some profits on the Riot contracts because Riot pushed up from, yeah, so it was funny. I had a sell on my Riot contracts here at 535. It hit 520. And now it's at, they're at 190 by 173 by, so it is what it is. Mara at 46. Yeah, I would think this 45 area holds up on Mara. I can't really, anything could happen, right? But I can't envision it going down more than like 10% today with Bitcoin where it's at. If Bitcoin was continuing to sell off, then I could see that, but it's not. So I can't really envision Mara going down 10% plus on the day, which that 45 is around that 10% area. So I don't really see it going down much lower, but it could. EQOS still doing its thing. Swingers Market sounds like a niche dating site. Let's see. Yeah, coin should be opening very soon, or we will see how this goes. I'm trying to see if I can find any stuff on, let's see if I can see something on Twitter about it. Oh, you know what I just thought of too? One of the other ones, OLB's one that I was on my watch list. OLB, yeah, popped up. This is not a terrible idea. I believe it's a crypto play, right? This thing pops up. I could see this thing popping up here. MFH is another one. MFH, look at this. This is nice. I would keep this one on the watch. MFH sitting here at like 750. I think it's a decent spot given that the 50 SMA is like right here at $7. This could get a pop into the, could be a crypto play here for sure. So let's see. Why would you buy coin when you can buy the actual crypto? Fair enough. My let's take a peek at I've been using BlockFi for buying crypto. That's up a lot. I mean, percentage wise, that's up a lot past couple of days, which is crazy. I mean, like how I put some money in there and I was like, yeah, whatever, we'll see what happens. And that's crazy. All right, let's see. Let's turn the tables here. What do we got? Mara. It seems like it's bottoming to me. So, seems like it's bottoming. I would think. Problem PLTR is it could be a sell the news, right? It's down. It could be well, you see what happened yesterday? PLTR with the event, right? They ran up yesterday, and then today it's a sell the news. Possibly. Just my thought. This is my kind of thought process on that. So. EQOS is coming down pretty hard. That's a knife. But you see how the shorts are attacking though here? You kind of see like the volume comes in, pops it up. The volume has been fading out, right? It's holding up. It's kind of like consolidating and not really doing much. Short attack, boom, dropped to VWAP from 12, 40 cents. Just like that. Quiet. Now EQOS is back under 12, man. That's a hard short right there. It's a decent or a nasty drop. Let's check in on any updates here. No coin updates to speak of. Now, what will be funny, I think what will be hilarious would be if if Mara and Riot, they sell off today, and then they rip like the rest of the week. It would be funny to see, just ripping the rest of the week after like a shakeout today. Crypto, Bitcoin is sitting here still at 63.2. Seeing TCAT's getting attention today. Let's take a peek at TKAT. TKAT. Yeah. Climbing the gainer list. Look at that. Getting some volume. BTBT is falling off. Wow, look at that sell off. Thing hits up to 19 and then just says nope. Goes down to 17. Under 17 actually hit. CIDM is doing pretty well today. They have ties to NFT stuff, right? I believe. Or at least they mention, I believe, something along those lines. OTIC. This one was on my list for a bottom play. Yeah, but it kept selling off. Interesting. TV being one of the bigger gainers, up 25%. Fell under VWAP. It's got resistance at VWAP now. I don't know. Will I get marked as a day trader for options? I don't have to worry about. I'm in a margin account. I don't have to worry about the PDT, and it's over 20. It's over the PDT rule, I guess, or over the 25K. But I believe you get marked as a PDT. Yeah, you do. If you day trade options, it's the same thing. You'll get marked and flagged as a pattern day trader. Well, if you go to like your account settings, it'll probably tell you. If I go to my account, right, it says you are flagged as a pattern day trader, PDT, because you have executed 4 or more day trades within 5 business days. You're flagged as that. It doesn't matter until you drop below the 25K threshold. That's when it actually impacts you. So. This honestly, the way that we're looking at this could be a oh wow, this could be a long time before this actually goes live, but we'll see if it goes live relatively soon. Third channel is active. Yes, it is TC Trading. It's going to be just like tutorial stuff. So like broker stuff, tutorial stuff. If I get questions, like someone asked me questions saying, could you make a video on buying calls, how to buy calls, and then make a video on selling calls, and then same thing with and then same thing with like puts and stuff. So that type of stuff is good. But the problem that I have is that on YouTube, it should be linked in like one of my recent videos in the description box. If not, I will link it. I can probably link it. Let's see if I have it somewhere. I can put it in the chat actually. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. I can pull this guy up. This should be the link. And let me pull up the thing. Let's pull up this. Boom. Okay, that should be it. But the thing about it is that the way that is that like if I get someone who asks a question about like, oh, or how do I do that? How do I do this specific kind of thing? I'm fine if I get a lot of questions. I'm fine, making a video and answering the questions. I think that's there's too much of this kind of BS. Like stock space is kind of like crazy these days, right? With the hype and all that stuff. Which unfortunately, if you don't play into something, not unfortunately, but like I guess unfortunately, if you don't kind of match with click-through rates, you don't survive, or you just no one watches stuff. But the thing with that is that it's all going to be tutorial stuff and like those types of videos, how-tos and stuff like that. So it's all one type of content, which is easier for, let's say, the algorithm to like understand. Whereas if I put that stuff on this channel, then it's like 1 second, maybe like 5 people actually want that video. Cool. That's really good. I'm fine making that video for the people who need it, who have a question. But then like for everybody else who's like, I don't care, I already know that, or I'm not interested in that, they don't see it or they don't watch it. And then it's like the next time a video comes up, it's like algorithm won't show it. So it's like, it's stupid. It's stupid. It's like stupid games the algorithm plays. But that's just the nature of how this stuff works, I guess on these days, right? TKAT over 28. Now it's pushing up 29 resistance. This one could be an interesting one. Mara's trying to curl on up. Trying to. So, long way to go to get to my average, but we can certainly get there. Maybe. 63.2 for Bitcoin. Let's see. EQOS is nuts because this thing like popped to 13 and now it's right back down. It's always why you gotta take profits. Always why you want to take profits. Let's see. I have a feeling Coinbase may not actually go live for a while. I have a feeling that it may not go live for because of the interest and because of the magnitude of it. I think it could take a while. Look at Mara, right? So okay, there's always this is where patience pays, right? You could have freaked out, tried to buy the dip here. There's no need to buy it. There's no need. Now it's coming down. I think we have developed. We look back to the left. We have some solid support around this 45 area. We kind of knew that. Okay, cool. We look at the chart again. Decent buys would have been there. Yeah, I bought some. I bought more. It averaged down on my position. But it's recovering a little bit. I think we're going to get some resistance up here at VWAP, so might have some resistance there. And then we'll see how it plays out. But let's see, Riot. This could save the day. We'll see. I bought, so these options that I have right here, I'll pull up the actual option. I have an average under 3 now. I had an average at 3. They're trading at like 238 by 248, right? I had an average at 3. And then I bought them at 194 today. So I have now 3 of them. So they're kind of like lotteries. It went to 520. I had to sell at 535, so I missed out obviously on that. But from the one that I bought earlier, right, that's up 50 cents, which is nice. SOS. Yeah, SOS got to break view up. $5 needs to get back over 5. Back tomorrow. Nice little reverse for now. Yeah, Bitcoin still, now it's pushing up a little bit more, a little bit, a little bouncing off of its dip. But this is like the common type of thing you see with Bitcoin, is that you get these kind of pushes up, you get these explosive moves, and look at the kind of like the crash. Now it's percentage-wise, this move down was like 3%, so that's not that bad to be honest, but you get that pretty quick. It's in like a half-hour period, boom. So you gotta be ready for that stuff. It comes with the territory. Certainly comes with the territory. What else is going down here? VISL up 3% today. Oh man, I like VISL here at it's a decent spot, I think, down here. Under $3 is a spot. I have an average a little over 3, but I don't have much. I want to really load up my position under 3. I'm fine with this one. Wait out on this one. So I'm giving it some time, but for sure. Look at this. Mora's pushing up as we speak. 47.50 is going to be resistance. 47.50-ish will be resistance on that guy. Also kind of worried. I'm wondering about ANTE. It's also a crypto-related play that's run in the past. Seems like it hasn't. Lovely Mara, like Charlie. Yeah, he's one of the guys, I think, that if you're looking for someone to to watch. Like, there's a lot of stuff out there, a lot of different channels and stuff these days. He's one that I think is a good channel. I mean, I don't watch enough of his videos, but from what I've seen, he's a good guy. And he definitely knows what he's talking about. But there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of channels out there these days that are just like, buy this now. It's like, no, like, and he knows it too. Like, I'm not going to tell anyone to buy anything, right? You got to do, it's your plan. It's up to your risk management, your plan that will tell you to buy something. No one is going to tell you, get in this thing now. It's going to be great. Like, no, like, here's an idea. If you like it, take it. If not, then don't. Let's see. E-bond, man. E-bond is bounced off the bottom here where'd that line come from? I'm trying to figure this out. Where did I put that line in? Well, that was a prior area of support in the past. Okay. So it shows you when you actually chart stuff out and you have your lines. Like, I had this line there and it just so happened to come down to that line and bounce. Meet Kevin. He's also good too. When he does videos on like diving deeper into like stocks and stuff, and he really pulls back everything, he's really good. His stuff's good too. But he's been getting really into stocks lately for sure. He was always more like the real estate kind of guy, I guess, or mostly real estate. And keeps the news. Yeah, he's good for news too. He's someone I've watched a bunch of his live streams in the past when there was some crazy events going on and stuff. It's funny too, like how you see like he's good because he's so like in the middle, and he shows both sides, so it's like there's no bias really coming out of that. Oh, the anticipation for the Coinbase IPO, man. I think we're gonna end up having to probably. I think unfortunately, it's been kind of boring, right? We've just been kind of waiting around. So maybe we'll stop. Maybe we'll come back and do a live later on in the day if and when this goes live, right? If and when. Because it's been kind of boring. And as of right now, it's just like everything's doing its thing, and it's just chilling. Not much. Things have slowed down quite a bit. We have Bitcoin at 63 still, holding up roughly. Let's see if it's... Yep, it's still holding roughly around 63,000. We got Mara and Riot down on the day. But we'll see if they continue to show signs of recovery and reversal here. And that's maybe what I'll do. I'll probably log off for now, and then we'll come back later either with a video or we'll just do a live stream. Once this actually goes live, because that'd be fun. Yeah, Mara and EBON do look pretty similar. Here's Riot, right? Look at Riot, and then you go to EBON, very similar chart. I mean, they're following Bitcoin, I think, to a degree, but also they're not. Like, if you look at the price action on the 1 minute chart, and then you go to Bitcoin's 1 minute chart, it's like kind of similar, but not like exact. It kind of is. But the lows don't match up exactly with the lows and stuff, because the lows actually happen around like 10:15, and then the lows on the Riot or EBON happen at like 10:30. So yeah, the reference price is 250, but I think it's going to open a lot higher, and especially with all the attention that they have on it right now, it may take a little bit longer to iron things out. So we'll see. I'll do that. I'll log off for now, and once things get more exciting later on in the day, I would think. This afternoon, probably, once this goes live finally, we'll come back and we'll do another live stream rather than a video. I think it's probably better than doing a video, personally, because it's more, I guess, fun to see stuff live. Video is cool, but like live stream's easier, honestly, on me too. I don't have to edit it. All right, so thanks guys for tuning in. I will jump back on once the IPO goes live a little bit later and things start to get a little more interesting. And so that's what we'll do. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back a little bit later. Peace.